is identity. And the way that you will find out somebody don't know who they are, when I ask them the simple questions, who are you? You see, nobody can really just say who they are. Because when I say who are you, it really doesn't matter who you are. You get it? Until it really matters who you are. Who are you? It doesn't matter who you are. The only thing that matters is if you have planned. And nobody will recognize you until you build your own brand. You know, Jake Paul. You know, people who have done this thing at the highest level, like Floyd Mayweather, right? They build a brand. Muhammad Ali. You're going to get the same thing every day. You know what you're going to get from Muhammad Ali. But when I'm talking about who are you, I'm talking about you who have been literally walking around with no identity your entire life, even though there is something deep down inside. So when I preface this, I want to table that conversation because I'm not here for fucking views. I could care less if you stay on. But this is just to talk about something that I've been acknowledging and I've really focused on helping with people, right? My whole entire purpose is knowing exactly who I am when I got my assignment from God. And the way you know you got an assignment from God is that he gives you certain abilities. Like mechanics was one of the abilities he gave me, right? I knew I was mechanically inclined. And I said, all right, that helps me demonstrate and show people ways to improve in areas that you may need. Now, I applied it to boxing, and that's one of the main reasons I got to work in over 45 championship training camps. Mechanics, mindset, and then just my innate ability to care about a thing. So therefore, that put me in a medical field, and I don't know what ability you got to put you on your assignment while you're here on Earth, but you've been ducking it because the data says that over 90% of people that have an ability are not using that ability to be on Earth. So mine was mechanically inclined. I'm nice with it. But how do I actually make it work for me? After I started thinking about that, I stopped working for companies. I was working in the medical field, right? And I was on the surgical team. And then I started to think, this doctor is going to always be the rock star. And it's not allowing me to shine. And even one of my co-workers, who was a physician and an anesthesiologist, said to me, you have an ability, man. You might want to lean into that thing. But what about your ability? Because I went and built an entire brand. I got millions of people that follow me, and I'm preaching the same message. So I'm someone who knows how to take their ability and help other people out with it. And that's who I am at my core. I serve in that way because I identified my ability at a very young age. Now, when you identify your ability and then you actually implement it into how you live your life, giving and serving, just like when you see these guys who go around and they help people by giving them money, bringing them food. You got people who built channels on that. You guys think that that's about views. That's about showing people who you actually are. You can't fake and do that. If that was the case, you'd be out there doing it. It takes a lot of work to go and ask a person how you can help them. That takes a lot of a lot of awareness. And when you do find that, that's who you are. That's who you are at the root of everything. What's my man who actually goes around, does haircuts for everybody? He's done the president. Now he's doing all these influencers. You get it? Like, that's who he is. He wants to hear your story. He wants to express and connect with you. That's who he is. So when you talk about, when a person asks you, who are you? I'm a person that really is here to help other people improve their quality of life. And I don't know why God put me on that assignment, but that's who I am at my core. That's who I am at my root. Then I'll ask you, what do you do? Well, I teach boxing, but for the greater good. They help people really establish their businesses. So I work with people who are trainers. I work with people who do it because they compete. We give them programs. And then I help gym owners who have boxing programs, right? That's what I do with it. That's what I do. I complete and fill all the holes that you have. So if you're a fighter and you don't have a process to train in, I got you. If you're a gym owner and you don't really have good boxing structure in your program, a developmental ladder, I got you. We're going to implement that. And if you are just on earth and you don't understand who you are and it's hard for you to find your identity, then that's what we do. We plug those holes. We make sure that people understand what you do, not just that you do it, but why you do it. That's when I say, who are you? It doesn't matter who you are. The only thing that matters is God's plan. And nobody will give a shit who you are until you build a brand. Because a brand is not what you do. A brand is how you make people feel. And that's what I committed to every single day. And that's what, if you were doing anything positive for yourself, to do anything to change the world, I'd commit to that. If you've ever been in a place where you're going in circles and your life is going in the same cycle, build your brand. I'm going to leave you with that. Maybe somebody needed to hear that today. If so, there it is. Use that. Implement it. But understand, you got to build your brand before you start marketing anything out here. It's a tough world. Don't be a victim. Be the reason. Build a brand.